guys so simple that you just have to put on a pirate skeezer dress and suddenly they want to talk to you? Oh. Well, thanks, I guess. How will I ever repay you? Well, I can't just get you new parts. I mean, you're a dead man. Not a Chrysler LeBaron. Oh, I want to help you. I really do, but I don't know how. Besides, Taffy says it's a waste of time to try and fix up ways. Better just accept a guy's flaws.
What's going on, LJH crew? Hope everybody out there is doing well. Got 2 movie reviews for you today. As you know, at the beginning of each video, I'd like to show you a clip of what I'm going to be doing. I was only able to do one for the one, which was Lisa Frankenstein. The other movie, just couldn't find a clip that was appropriate enough to where I wouldn't get red flagged. And the other one is going to be Poor Things. But we're going to start with Lisa Frankenstein. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what I liked about the movie, what I thought I could do better, what it reminded me of, and then I'll tell you if I'm going to pick it up on Blu-ray or not. And I'll give you my final thoughts with my grade point average and stuff like that and how I really feel about the film. So, Lisa Frankenstein is about a girl named Lisa. Her mom is murdered in a home invasion, and she ends up getting like a new stepsister that really tries to care for her, and the stepmom's crazy and whatever. But she has this obsession with going to an old graveyard that's no longer used, and she's obsessed with this one like grave that's ancient. And at one point she makes a wish, and this zombie looking dude ends up coming to life and friending her and stuff like that. Excuse me, guys. And right away you get Corpse Bride meets an old movie back in the past called My Boyfriend's Back, which I've said in the past reviewing this trailer when I did my trailer review. Vibes right away. And he starts wanting help to get some body parts back, you know, his hand, his ear. So there's some murderings done. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen this film. 5, 4, 3, 2. So first one goes to stepmom for being rude to her and whatever, and gets his ear. Then there's another scene where he takes somebody's hand, and from a guy that kind of wasn't good to Lisa. And it turns out that they ended up being like a big like friendship at first, and then it gets weird, and then Lisa decides that he's the one and wants to lose everything to him. Zombie boy reveals, can't do, and they ended up, taking someone's private part and doing the same thing. And all this is done with a tanning bed that doesn't work. Each part they put in, it's electric. Something always goes wrong with the tanning bed, but it helps Zombie Boy out, get the new part to work on him. So, all that happens. Lisa then decides that in order to be happy, she has to be like him, and she ends up dying in this tanning bed. And yeah, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the basic premise. So, was it a good movie? Yes. It definitely was a great movie. Got a lot of Tim Burton vibes, but Tim Burton didn't direct this, which I found weird, because it's like a movie that's right up Tim Burton's alley, but Tim Burton did not direct it. Second thing is it funny? It has funny moments. It's got its comedy. Drama-wise, it's got a lot of drama. Lisa trying to find out who she is and how she feels about people and who she can trust and not trust, and a lot of crazy stuff going on with her mom and her dad, not her stepdad, excuse me, her dad just being oblivious to everything. Her stepsister kind of cool, trying to understand Lisa, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Action-wise, it's got some cool action moments. I wouldn't say, like, they're not blowing up buildings or anything, but by action moments, I mean, you know, the suspense of waiting to see what's going to happen. Horror-wise, just the way the zombie looks, really. There's no, like, horror. There's no, like, pure horror or anything like that. Can't wait till this cough is gone with these allergies. But anyway, it's just, it's a fun movie, guys. It really is. So, having said that, what do I think of it as a whole? Is it worth watching and telling you guys, hey, Lisa Frankenstein's a good movie? Is it a good movie? No. Is it a fun movie? It is a fun movie. You know, if you're looking for just a silly comedy love story with a little suspense, Lisa Frankenstein is it. I mean, it doesn't have everything you're probably looking for, but it's a fun film. So, next question is this something I'm definitely going to pick up on Blu-ray? Because like I said, I watched it on Peacock. Yes. I would definitely be picking Lisa Frankenstein up on Blu-ray, and if it has a digital copy, of course I would give it away on the channel. My grade. For comedy, I'm going to give it a C. It could have done a little bit more with some comedy, I think. Drama-wise, B, because like I said, Lisa's really trying to figure out who she is and, you know, how to get over the death of her mom from the home invasion. So, B there. And for everything else in between, I'll say solid B. So altogether, I would say I give this movie, honestly, a solid B+. Could it have been better in some retrospects? It absolutely could have been. But it's a fun movie. You got to go into it with an open mind, no matter what. I mean, it is a lot of fun, but like I said, it had this moments that you'll question, like. But then again, of course you're going to question it. She's falling in love with a zombie. But the biggest thing that I get from it is the old movie. Like I said before, this movie just reminds me a lot of My Boyfriend's Back. My Boyfriend's Back was a movie done by Disney / Touchstone Pictures in 1993 about a guy who liked a girl and he ended up dying and comes back for her and they end up being together in the end and reversing time, and it never happened. If you ever seen My Boyfriend's Back, great movie. Try to find it. I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere. I know Disney Plus doesn't have it. It should. Disney Plus. Listen to us. Get My Boyfriend's Back on streaming. But that's the vibe I get from it, / like a big corpse bride. The only difference is the guy comes back, not the girl. So yes, solid B+. Lisa Frankenstein is worth the watch. It's worth it, and I would definitely pick it up on Blu-ray eventually and rebuild it to you guys as soon as I can. So, that was my view of Lisa Frankenstein. I'm going to give it a solid B+, like I said. Really, really fun watch. Next, we'll get into the next one, which is Poor Things. And there's a lot to try to grasp about Poor Things, but I'll try to get it all into a nutshell very easily. So Poor Things stars Emma Stone, William Dafoe, and those are the main two stars, really. I mean, there's other stars, but those are the main. And it kicks off with a girl on a bridge. What you discover, her name is Victoria, and she jumps to her death. Then it goes forward, and this girl is, acting like a baby and stuff like that. And at first you're like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? And the majority of the movie, like the first 41 minutes, are in black and white. But it's because they're trying to get you to see it through Bella's eyes. Now, Bella is the girl Victoria. So basic premise, this mad scientist who's got a bunch of scars on his face. It doesn't exactly show it, but I guess after this girl Victoria had done what she did, the scientist had found her, and discovers, well, not science. It's like a morgue dude, really, who does like scientific work. It's brought to her, and she discovers that this girl Victoria was with child. So he ends up taking the child out of this dead girl Victoria, and basically getting rid of Victoria's brain and putting the baby's brain into this dead girl Victoria, who he names Bella. Now, obviously, the baby's brain is different and developing and stuff like that. So she then becomes Bella Baxter, which is also the scientist's last name. Scientist's name is Godwin Baxter. And then there's some other people involved. Baxter has Godwin has an assistant and stuff like that, and they bring another doctor in to view Bella's progress and stuff like that. And the movie just gets weirder and weirder. Like, she's learning how to be an adult again, this baby in this woman's body again. Definitely a movie that would have been right up Tim Burton's alley to direct. I'm really shocked it just wasn't one of his films. But I'm trying to think where to go with this. It's like this movie was like good, but it was all over the place. So she starts to get curious about the world and stuff like that, and like I said, she's got like baby vibes at first. Excuse me, guys. But then as the movie progresses, the black and white goes away because she starts seeing the outside world through her eyes. Everything is basically revealed in this movie between Bella's eyes and how she sees things. And so at one point she leaves with the one doctor to go explore the world, and William Dafoe's character, which is Godwin, tells her, hey, listen, I can't stop you, really. I mean, I could, and I can imprisonment you and stuff like that, but he decides to let her go. But before he goes, his assistant says, because he kind of was exploring with him, and said, when you come back, we are to get married. Now, at this point, I want to say that Bella's mind frame is about 13, 14. So she says, okay, whatever. She agrees, but she goes out and she explores and discovers a lot of things about herself that she can do. A lot of like touching of herself and stuff like that. She discovers intimate moments, and the doctor that she ended up going with ends up sleeping with her quite a few times, so she gets to understand all those adult emotions and stuff like that. And she's still learning how to be who she's trying to be. She ends up not getting along with the doctor in the end. She ends up seeing how the world really is by a gentleman that shows her, something that kind of look like poor people and babies dying and stuff like that. And then she ends up, and then they're on a cruise ship at one point, and the doctor that she's sort of seeing, the one that took her on the trip, ends up taking her on this boat, and he ends up winning a lot of money. She decides that she's donating this money while he's passed out drunk to the people that she saw when they were docked, that looked like they needed the money, the poor people that this gentleman before had showed them. She discovers that they won't let her back on if she goes off. So she gives it to the crewmates, who obviously end up stealing the money and whatever. So she ends up telling this doctor dude that she did that, and he gets mad, and they have to. But because that was everything that he won, including the money he had in his pocket beforehand, they're kicked off at the next dock, which is Paris. So she goes into Paris, and she's trying to tell him, hey, I did the right thing, and he goes, but now we're stranded, it's not all about that, and blah, 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 and she's still processing, life itself. Like, I don't even know what age point she is at this point. Then she discovers that she can make money by doing adult things, which she ends up regressing, and the doctor does not like it, and he ends up leaving, and leaving her in Paris by herself. Which then she ends up going to schooling and learning more about school and books and stuff like this, and she ends up becoming like a full, or like adult at this point. After like all the prostitutions and stuff like that. Then she gets a letter from Godwin's apprentice. Hey, you should come home. Godwin's dying. She goes home. Godwin then reveals the truth to her about who she really is, and it takes a lot to process. She goes back to the bridge where Victoria had jumped. She comes back, and she's mad at Godwin no matter what. She's mad, but she gets it, and she goes, I thank you for, giving me life, and I understand what you did, but I understand that I'm mad at you for it, and ends up going to the whole thing. So then we get to the point where she ends up marrying Godwin's apprentice, going to marry Godwin's apprentice, and then as she goes to say I do, the doctor that took her on the voyage shows up with this new gentleman who says that he is Victoria's husband. And at that point she's curious. She wants to see where Victoria came from, what happened with that. So she ends up going back with this guy to this beautiful, like, we'll call it a castle, even though it was like a big mansion. And she discovers over there the reason why Victoria did what she did is because she did not want to be pregnant. She was mad at the baby. So that's why Victoria had jumped off this bridge to end her life. And then it goes into a whole big thing. He says you can't leave because he believes that Bella really has amnesia and doesn't realize that she's Victoria, but that's not the case, as we all know already. So he ends up telling her she can't leave, which ends up being a long battle. He pulls a gun on her, and he ends up accidentally shooting himself in the foot. And at this point, that's her way back out. So she contacts Godwin's apprentice. They bring him back to Godwin's house, and they go to fix this man's foot. And the apprentice says to him, if you save him, he could force you to try to go back to him. She goes, I got an idea. So they end up saving him and doing whatever. And they end up switching his brain out with a goat. Yeah. And then it doesn't imply it, but it looks like they end up getting married. And then you see a human goat boy eating grass and stuff and stuff like that. And it's a very weird movie. And that was just a premise of it in a nutshell, as much as I can get to you guys by memory, because I watched it last night. But it was fun. Comedy-wise, with this one, I'll give it a B. It's got a lot of funny moments. It's got a lot of strong sexual content. So it is not for children by any stretch. Neither is Lisa Frankenstein, for that matter. But yeah, so comedy-wise, I'll say B. Drama-wise, solid A on this, because this girl Bella is learning who she is, trying to be this, trying to be an adult and learning the way of life. And everything else, I'll say a solid A. This movie was really good. Emma Stone did a really good job in this movie portraying this character, and William Dafoe was phenomenal, along with the other cast. Like I said, I don't remember the names for a second. I really feel like looking it up. But altogether, I give Poor Things an A+. It's a weird-ass movie. No stretch about that at all. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. This is a weird-ass movie. But it's fun. I do recommend it, and go into it with an open mind. Okay, it's a good movie. Excuse me, guys. But go into it with an open mind. Question now. Is it something I would buy on Blu-ray? Yes. I will be adding Poor Things to the physical media collection. And again, that was a lot of fun, and it's just go into it with an open mind and get through it. The runtime for it is about 2 hours or so. Not terrible. But with that being said, guys, that was my movie reviews on Lisa Frankenstein and Poor Things. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If so, give it a massive thumbs up. Hit those notification bells so you always know when I post a video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ooh. Remember, once you hit 500 subscribers, I'm giving away that copy of Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. And with that being said, OJH Crew, thank you as always. And as they say in the movies, cue the lights.